We're so happy to have you. I'm going to take this time now that I'm thinking about it. If you will silence your cell phones or anything else that makes noises, we would greatly appreciate that. So yeah, if you are a first-time visitor here, thank you so much for coming, for choosing us. And if you've been here multiple times, welcome back. We're so happy to see you again. And if you're not aware, this is your home. If you've been looking for it, here we are. You found us. Welcome home. Yay. We love everyone. We accept everyone. You have a place here at this church, in our community, and in our hearts. So thank you so much for coming back here. And especially thank you to those who are watching online. We appreciate you in your jammies on your couch. Thank you. So if you don't know, if you're not aware, we are a lay-led congregation, meaning, we kind of rule ourselves in a good way. We have tons of different types of speakers within our community here at this church and within the Pensacola community. So we have lots of different speakers. It changes almost every week. This Sunday, we have a very own member, so we're happy to have her speak again, and she'll be doing a part 2, so more on that later, but so we just, we have different speakers, and if you didn't get a welcome card when you came in, or a pamphlet, you can always go online to our website, uupensacola.org, and that has everything you possibly need to know about our church, and about the UU faith as well, so I think there it is, up on the screen, so jot that down, or you can just, Google us. We're the only Unitarian Universalist church in Pensacola, so it shouldn't be hard to find us. Okay, I think I've gotten everything for that. We've got a few announcements today. First, after the service today, please return to the sanctuary around 11:15. So again, if you're new with us, immediately after the service, we have refreshments and coffee just around that way. And thank you, Michael and Jack, and whoever else who provided all the goodies that you always do. Thank you. Yes, they do it every Sunday for free from the goodness of their hearts, and it's always nice to snack and fellowship. So we have that, so grab you some goodies and some coffee, and then come back in here for an update and planning session for the Just Pensacola, JUST, Just Pensacola, specifically for the Nehemiah Action in May. So our goal is, for attendance at this action is 60 members and friends to witness our requests for justice action from our elected officials. And today we will discuss how to meet or even exceed that goal. So if you know what I'm talking about, meet here after service for an update. If you don't know what I'm talking about, meet here so that you can find out what I'm talking about. It's a lovely, wonderful, much needed organization, and so they can give you a little update on that. So, and you can see Paula in the pretty in purple there, or Trisha Wessel, just next to Paula over there if you have any questions. Trisha is from Just, and Paula works with them, a lot. So see them for any questions. Also, March 30th, the last Sunday of this month, we will be having a See You Soon party for Jack and Kate Wolverton. They've been longtime members here and super involved in the church. Everybody knows them. If you don't, you should, and stay for that party after the service, March 30th, and tell them bye. We're going to have a little photo booth so that we can send them on their way with a cute, digital photo album, and we're going to have a big old cake and lots of goodies. So please bring, if you can, please bring your favorite treat from around the globe. Mexican, Irish. I'm going to attempt to make sushi. We'll see how that goes. So, just bring a snack and bring your party hats and be ready for hugs for Jack and Kate. So again, that's March 30th, directly after the service. If you have questions, you can see me. Also, Carolyn Toxin, she's a member here, will be leading a 30-minute meditation at noon every Friday at the Studio 228. It is in the old Sacred Heart Hospital on the second floor. So that's every Friday, 30 minutes. I think we could all use a little meditation there. So, if you're interested, I don't know if she's here, but just see me and we'll figure something out if you have questions on that. Also, help us find our amazing new team member. We're 5 months into our search for a new child care provider to support honor in the CRE classes. And while we've had some good prospects, we've lost touch along the way. It just hasn't worked out. So we're not giving up. Let's keep the momentum going. We really want to find someone. So we'd love for your help in spreading the word. So pick up a flyer or two and share with your community at the gym, at the Winn-Dixie, wherever. Or you can head over to our Facebook page or our website if you need more details on that position that we're looking for. So we're looking for somebody who's a perfect fit for us and vice versa, right? So we can't wait to find that special someone, and we really want to grow our children's religious education program. So if y'all could help us with that, spread the word, that would be great. And you can see Honor or me if you have any questions. Honor's in the back there. It is a paid position, thank you. Yes, that's an important note. It's paid. Okay. And then my last announcement is, so join us for a town hall meeting to learn what impact trustees have on UWF and why concerned citizens are opposed to the current nominees. So this is a Save UWF kind of campaign. It's Tuesday, March 18th at 5 p.m. at the Studer Community Institute, which is on 220 West Garden Street. So I have that information. I think Bradley said that there's something else going on that night too, a school board, but she thinks this is a bit more important. Yeah, so if you're choosing between the two, I've just made the choice for you. Go to this Save UWF. I think this is going to greatly impact our community, right? So anyway, there's flyers, and if you need more information on that, you can see me or Laura Keith King. She has the flyer as well. But that's Tuesday, March 18th at 5 p.m. Okay. Let's all just take a breath, right? Let's play our 8 Principles video as kind of tell us about our community, and also just take a minute to, be present and in the moment. At this time, I'm going to ask Lauren if she'll help with the chalice lighting. And this is something we do every Sunday. And we have some really good words by Esther Hurlbert. It is not always easy to find love at the center. There's not a set of easy instructions numbered out 1 through 8. It's not always easy to find love at the center. Today, in Covenant, we celebrate our living tradition, which invites us to take deep breaths of fresh air into the newness of every day, so our minds, hearts, and spirits will be continually nourished. It's not always easy to find love at the center. So for today, we gather in Covenant to celebrate the reality that love is at the core of our beings, and that love will guide us if we open ourselves to the challenges which love requires of us. May we accept this challenge with dignity and grace. May it be so. If you're willing and able, we will stand and sing our opening song, and we'll have our covenant right after that. But if you want to turn in this hymnal, the gray hymnal, to number 108, and we'll have the choir come up, and they will lead us in My Love Flows On, an Endless Song, 108. There should be hymnals under your chair. Recite our covenant, which will be up here with me. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, choir. this part of the service is our joys and sorrows. This is a time just for here in this community. It's not shared online, but it's just a time for us to briefly share with each other joy, concern, sorrow, that we can help carry the burden or celebrate with you. So if you want to line up on either side here and then share your name and again briefly share something that with us, and we'll light a candle and help with that concern or joy. And we'll light our first candle for as kind of a blanket overall, everything that's going on in the world today, in our community here and around the world. So thank you, Lauren. We'll light that first one as a general statement. So. Brett's gonna come up and read it for us.
Okay. This is my first time doing this. I just learned to read recently. Ruby Finds a Worry is the name of this book. And we've got, it's up on the screen so that you can follow along as I'm reading. This is Ruby Finds a Worry by Tom Percival. Ruby loved being Ruby. She loved to swing up high, and she loved to explore wild, faraway places. Sometimes she even went all the way to the very bottom of the garden. Ruby was perfectly happy until one day she discovered a worry. It wasn't a very big worry. In fact, it was so small that at first, Ruby hardly noticed it. But then the worry started to grow. Each day, it got a little bit bigger. It just wouldn't leave her alone. It was there at breakfast, staring at her over the cereal box, and it was still there at night when she brushed her teeth. The funny thing was that no one else could ever see Ruby's worry, not even her teacher. So Ruby pretended that she couldn't see it either. She tried to carry on as if everything was normal, but it just wasn't. The worry was always there, stopping her from doing the things that she loved. Ruby wondered if the worry would ever go away. What if it didn't? What if it stayed with her forever? Ruby didn't realize it, but she was doing the worst thing you can ever do with a worry. She was worrying about it. Now the worry was enormous. It could barely fit in the kitchen at dinner time. It filled up half the school bus. And it took up whole rows at the movie theater. The worry became the only thing that Ruby could think about, and it seemed like she would never feel happy again. Then one day, something unexpected happened. Ruby noticed a boy sitting alone at the park. He looked how she felt, sad. And then she noticed something else, something hovering next to him. Could it be a worry? It was. Ruby realized that she wasn't the only person with a worry after all. Other people had them too. She asked the boy what was on his mind, and as he told her, the strangest thing happened. His worry began to shrink. Then Ruby did the best thing she could ever do if you have a worry. She talked about it. As the words tumbled out, Ruby's worry began to shrink until it was barely there at all. Soon, both of their worries were gone. Finally, Ruby felt like herself again. Of course, that wasn't the last time she ever had a worry. Everyone gets them from time to time. But now that she knew how to get rid of them, they never hung around for long. The end.
Sing the kids out.
Children, you know we want you to go now in peace, go now in joy. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Thank you. Lovely singing, everyone. So at this point, we have our offertory. Again, if you're new with us, we are a lay-led community, and also we support ourselves wholly. We rely on our members to take care of all of our needs. That's you. So if you are willing and able to give, we would greatly appreciate it. You can text. Oh, one more. Thank you. You can text, you can mail, or you can give online, which I think is what a majority of y'all do anyway. So if you want to do that and need information on that, you can always go to our website. I'll have the choir come up if y'all could, and if y'all can stay seated if you like. We are going to sing number 169 in the same gray hymnal, We Shall Overcome. 169, and we're gonna add a fifth verse. It's very easy. I'm sure we all know this song, but the fifth verse is gonna be We Are Not Afraid Today. We are not afraid today. And yeah, we'll have the ushers pass around the offertory basket while we sing this hymn.
I
So it's my privilege to introduce today's speaker, UUCP member, Dr. Lauren Anzaldo. Lauren is a social worker and a concerned citizen. Her talk this morning considers the continuing appeal of authoritarianism. Yep, and how democratically minded people might respond. Lauren will draw on prophetic voices of antifascists such as Hannah Arendt and Simone Weil, and this is the second Sunday service in this two-part series. The first service was presented on February 23rd. In case you missed it, feel free to go onto our YouTube page. But please help me welcome Lauren.
Thank you. All those tricky last names and words. I will acknowledge that I was saying the name of Simone Weil incorrectly. She is not German, she's French, but I just looked it up this morning and it's pronounced Weil, so I will say it differently this time than I said it the first time I was here with you. So I ended my first talk a couple weeks back with the words of the incredible and prophetic writer James Baldwin, and we're going to be starting the talk today with more from Baldwin, from his 1961 book of essays, Nobody Knows My Name. Baldwin wrote, "A country is only as good, only as strong as the people who make it up, and the country turns into what the people want it to become. I don't believe any longer that we can afford to say that it is entirely out of our hands. We make the world we're living in, and we have to make it over." A few weeks ago, I talked a little about how we made the world we're currently living in, and today I'm going to grapple a little with how we start to make the world over. Last time, I discussed the concept of freedom. The concept of freedom, of course, is one that we celebrate. But the state of being free, having endless possibilities and options before us, also engenders fear and worry. And when we have worries, like Ruby in the story, we look for assurances of security to ease our worries. The philosopher Erich Fromm observed that free people face a difficult choice between security and authenticity, which is why authoritarianism and easy answers and scapegoats are often so appealing. Erich Fromm and James Baldwin are two of the prophetic voices I have been turning to for guidance, solace, and inspiration during these times. You may recall that freedom from is the form of freedom that seeks security. Freedom from is about relief from uncertainty and from restrictions placed upon the individual by other people and by institutions. Meanwhile, freedom to is a liberatory form of freedom that seeks authenticity, according to Fromm. Freedom to is about communing with nature and with other humans. Freedom to is about being our true self. In this talk, I will be exploring freedom to, some of the actions that help us to remain in our true self, to maintain our humanity and resist the authoritarian political movement known as fascism. The feminist political scholar and activist Angela Davis minces no words in describing the situation. She says, "We can't be naive. We have watched the formation of a far-right movement that allowed for the re-election of a fascist tyrant. These recent events have sparked in many of us either outrage or despair. And the tendency toward despair is understandable. We're shocked, exhausted, and overwhelmed by the rapid pace of the aggression of the destruction we're seeing. But this moment necessitates engagement. In the words of David Remnick, editor of the New Yorker magazine, I just heard these on the radio a few days ago, "This is a consequential, dark time. We can't just duck and cover. We can't just duck." Engagement in our current situation involves both the internal and external spheres. We all know about writing and being, we all know about writing, yes, voting and being active in the electoral system. We hear that all the time, but we're at a whole other level, and that's just not enough. We must confront this situation with stronger tools. In his book on tyranny, 20 Lessons from the 20th Century, the historian Timothy Snyder laid out suggestions for preventing a full-scale descent into tyranny. What I'm sharing here is drawn in part from Snyder's work and from other prophetic voices, as I've referred to them. We pursue freedom, too, through practices such as these. Nurture your inner life. Be intellectually curious. Resist self-censorship. Build community. I'm going to go into more detail on each of these. Nurture your inner life. You've probably heard the airline-inspired metaphor about putting on our own oxygen mask before assisting others. We must attend to our own needs before we can address all the other needs of the world. Fighting authoritarianism is not a short haul. We didn't arrive here overnight, and we won't get out overnight. Preserving a pluralistic democracy takes constant attention and effort, which requires internal resources. We have to care for ourselves and reinforce ourselves for a long, often uncomfortable process. In our UUCP 8th principle, which our congregation adopted, we pledge active commitment to dismantle racism and other oppression in ourselves and our institutions. Striving for justice takes work out there in the public sphere, but it also takes work in here, in our hearts, in our own minds, in our lives. We are a part of this society, and we are susceptible to the same biases and ego reactions as everyone else. We are all flawed, and we can do better first by acknowledging that fact. Treat yourself like you would treat a beloved friend. The pain, the anger, and other emotions we're all feeling right now are natural reactions to the situation. We feel because we are human. Embrace those tender feelings. Make space for your grief and pain. The political activist and philosopher Simone Weil, who I spoke a lot about last time, referred to entering a state of reflection and openness, preparing ourselves to receive the goodness of grace. And I think the dog wanted acknowledgement, which is coming. So sometimes the goodness comes in the form of a warm puppy. I don't know if you remember the book, Happiness is a Warm Puppy. It's a Charlie Brown story. Like the therapy dogs that are going to be shared with us for second hour with Pat Quinglag in the library. We know that spending time with animals helps to regulate us and brings joy and playfulness. It's hard not to smile when you see, a dog wagging its tail and just cuddling up with you. It's just something that brings so much comfort and helps to just soothe our dysregulation. Francis Weller is a psychotherapist and writer who calls himself a soul activist. He describes this present moment on our planet as the long dark, when we are challenged socially, environmentally, and economically. Weller refers to our apprenticeship with sorrow, the ritual of grieving that honors our aliveness. Weller asserts, grief is not deadening, it's enlivening. It is very much about life. We feel because we are human and we are alive. Embracing our grief also allows us to appreciate the complexity of our emotions and to experience joy more fully. We grieve because we love so deeply. Weller tells the story of a woman to whom he remarked, "You have so much joy." The woman immediately replied, "That's because I cry so much." In nurturing our inner life in this way, we preserve the boundaries of a private life. The authoritarian state aims to control our whole self, to monitor our movements, to police our thoughts and our actions. In On Tyranny, Snyder urges us to maintain a separation between public and private life. We do not need to volunteer information or live online entirely. Take a walk, spend time outside, live in real life, face to face, be present. Be intellectually curious. When I was a teenager, I was very religiously curious. My family was Catholic, but we did not go to Mass. My dad was an atheist. I was a philosophical young person and needed some vehicle for all of my big thoughts and feelings. I attended places of worship with friends and studied various denominations. I eventually became baptized and confirmed in the Lutheran Church as a teenager, and I drove myself to weekly services all through high school by myself. I often felt dissatisfied and conflicted about the religious experience I was having. My pastor once warned me against reading about other religions, such as Buddhism, because he told me that the devil could enter me through books like these and lead me to question my Christian faith. This is a true story. I'm sure it happens. I'm sure others have had this experience. In some ways, the pastor was correct. Truthfully, reading a diverse array of works enlarges our perspective. I'm not talking about the devil. I'm just talking about how we change our states of mind. Snyder encourages us to keep reading and entertaining thoughts, exercising our intellectual muscles as a means of resisting tyranny. Tyranny thrives on narrow thinking. Be curious about what is happening locally, across the state, and around the world. Read books by people of different nationalities, different races, diverse ethnicities. Maintain a robust vocabulary. We really don't want us to use big words. Everything is simplified and very boiled down and good, bad, this, that. Think 1984. If you've ever read it, go back and read it again. WWF is doing it as their book club right now. Hannah Arendt is one of the most influential political theorists of all time. Arendt is another one of those prophetic voices who we all owe to ourselves to be familiar with. Arendt was a German Jew, an anti-fascist. She is known for writing, "There are no dangerous thoughts. Thinking itself is dangerous." Arendt is most well known for her attempt to explain how ordinary people become cogs within tyrannical systems, a phenomenon that she referred to as the banality of evil. The banality of evil. She coined the term. Arendt observed that evil is not always monstrous or grotesque. Evil is banal, boring. Arendt wrote, "There is nothing deep about evil, nothing demonic. There's simply resistance ever to imagine what another person is experiencing." Shortly after the January 6th insurrection in 2021, the blogger Pharrell Greenwald Brenner published a piece about Arendt and what we can learn from her about fascism and anti-Semitism. Brenner wrote that we like to convince ourselves that we would be able to identify evil if we saw it. But the truth is that evil is sometimes really boring people doing really boring things, she wrote. Evil people do boring things, like maybe pass long, boring pages of legislation on education and healthcare, and prepare long lists of words that can no longer be used by our state universities, such as an actual list circulating that bans words like welcoming environment and women that cannot be used in official publications. Curious minds are vital in these times because fascism flourishes in the absence of critical thinking and empathy. We've been enduring a shortage of critical thinking and empathy for many years now. Think about the incivility, just the meanness, all the things that we've been concerned about. These are the kinds of conditions that allowed January 6th to happen, and these conditions allowed a champion of that insurrection to be given near total authority over our nation and immunity to do as he pleases. Resist self-censorship. I recently heard this phrase, expression is a counter to repression. Expression is a counter to repression. Repression is about subduing or restraining a person or group. Don't allow yourself to be subdued. Speak up rigorously and often. Be weird, be yourself. Consider that most of the people we remember today and admire were regarded as eccentric in their times, even insane. do not conform. In On Tyranny, Snyder puts it this way: do not obey in advance. This phrase is certainly making the rounds right now. Anticipatory obedience is the act of anticipating what the authoritarians want and doing whatever that is before they have even asked for it. Snyder notes that most the power of authoritarianism is freely given. This is what happened in Hitler's Germany. The SS developed the instruments of genocide before they had even received the orders to do so. In the doing, they taught the Nazis what they could do. Today, we see news outlets avoiding critical coverage, school systems removing content, and corporations dropping diversity programs, all in the rush to obey in advance, to show the people in power how far they are willing to go to gain favor or at least avoid scrutiny. And maybe that makes sense to try to protect oneself, survival mechanism to blend in. And that might be fine if it actually stopped there. But we're all familiar with Pastor Martin Niemöller's poem that begins, "First they came for the socialists, and I didn't speak out because I was not a socialist," which ends with the speaker being arrested with no one left to speak out for him. The poem is a warning about complicity. It's about Germany and the Nazis. Authoritarianism doesn't resist with just enough. It doesn't stop with just enough. Authoritarianism seeks absolute power. That's the whole point. By speaking out, by expressing our beliefs and our hopes for a different, better way, we give voice to our humanity and the humanity of others. Hannah Arendt claimed that thinking is dangerous. The cultural sociologist Elizabeth Becker-Tapkara added that speaking is also dangerous, and yet it is our collective task. In speaking out, we acknowledge what is happening, the good and the bad. We take off the blinders, and we also validate the experiences of others by inviting them to speak too. Arendt believed that we humanize what is going on in the world and in ourselves only by speaking of it. And in the course of speaking of it, we learn to be human. Build community. Authoritarians want us to live in fear, lonely, and isolated. Connectedness makes us healthier and less anxious. Connectedness strengthens us. Snyder encourages us to make eye contact and small talk with our neighbors and the people we meet out and about. A handshake, a smile, a word of greeting takes on significance among repressed people. I told you last time about the conversations I've had lately with groups of friends talking about the importance of keeping our ties, checking in with each other, showing up for each other, radiating our care and concern from within our smaller chosen communities outward into the larger world. Fascism devises all sorts of rules about who is in the in-group and who is in the out-group. When we hold space for all sorts of people, we undermine fascism. When we support community building efforts and collective action, like here in our church, we undermine fascism. Snyder writes, "Power wants your body softening in your chair and your emotions dissipating on a screen. Get outside. Put your body in unfamiliar places with unfamiliar people." Making new friends and building systems of mutual aid are steps toward change. And camaraderie boosts our morale and helps us get through the long dark. Imani Perry, a writer and professor of African Studies at Harvard University, recently was asked about the attacks on diversity programs and courses of study and the cancellation of many such programs. Perry responded, "There is an effort to undo the past 50 years of social transformation, all of those gains that were so hard fought in the middle 20th century. Now, the question of what it means, though, really depends upon us. Of course, there's a lot of alarm, and we should be alarmed, but we also have to make decisions about how we're going to live. Is it important for us to learn about these various histories and stories? Is it important for us to be in community with people across a variety of experiences? If it is, then we have to actually demonstrate our values in our daily doings." In the words of James Baldwin that started off this talk, I don't believe any longer that we can afford to say that it is entirely out of our hands. We make the world we're living in, and we have to make it over. We make the world over in part by nurturing our inner life, being intellectually curious, resisting self-censorship, and building community. The author and organizer Kelly Hayes says we should never give up on transformation and material change. We are all worth fighting for, no matter how bleak the situation may be and no matter the odds. Determined, organized people have toppled dictators, ended oppressive institutions, including chattel slavery, and freed each other from the clutches of carceral systems. In dark times, people have always found a way to make their own light. That work is now upon us. So some of you may be familiar with this photograph. In Hamburg, Germany, 1936, a group of shipyard workers raised their right arms in unison in the Nazi salute. One man, August Landmasser, stands with his arms folded, not saluting, on your right. Looking at the photo now, we can see that Landmasser is the only man here who is on the right side of history. In her book, Caste, The Origins of Our Discontents, by the journalist Isabel Wilkerson, she was one of the keynote speakers at the UU General Assembly a few years ago. She writes about this photo: in a totalitarian regime such as that of the Third Reich, it was an act of bravery to stand firm against an ocean. We would all want to believe that we would have been him. But unless people are willing to transcend their fears, endure discomfort and derision, suffer the scorn of loved ones and neighbors and coworkers and friends, it would be numerically impossible for everyone to be that man. What would it take to be him in any era? What would it take to be him now?
Thank you, Lauren. In the spirit of her talk today, our very own Mike and his partner Rivka have written just a really good anthem, if you will. So we'll have the words up here, and if you're willing and able and want to stand and sing with us, it's kind of a call and response. So Mike will lead us in that, and we'll have the words here.
Sometimes I want to scream, just hold myself and scream, raise my fist and scream, break a law and scream, get arrested and scream. Sometimes I disobey the laws that make me crazy, lock arms with my siblings from one tribe or another, 'cause we've got to work together. Sometimes I want to scream, just hold myself and scream. Sometimes I've got to whisper, sit down and write a letter, share a secret in the park with someone I've never met, and I'm screaming from the heart, and I'm screaming from the gut. Sometimes I want to scream, just hold myself and scream. Now I ask myself this question: what am I willing to risk? What am I willing to sacrifice? What can I do to know it's possible to truly make a change? Sometimes I want to scream, just hold myself and scream. Our precious siblings are enslaved in the jails of oppression, in a lie about freedom. Yes, I really want to scream. Do you ever want to scream? Long and hard as you can scream. Do you ever dare to dream that the empire falls, that the soul-crushing walls disintegrate and fade? Do you ever dare to dream scream. Just hold myself and scream. This next part is twice as fast, right? So, you and me, Jubilee, community, you and me, Jubilee, community. Tell me, when is it time? Tell me, when is it time? When is it time? Tell me, when is it time? Oh, when is it time? Oh, when is it time? Times I wanna scream. Hold myself and scream. So now we're gonna sing along every note forever together. So when you run out of breath, just take another breath.
It sounded great. We have lovely screams. It feels good. All right, we have some closing words, and it sounds like there's also something going on in the library. I must have missed that announcement. So, I don't know. Search for the dogs, and I think it's carrying canines. That's okay, gotcha. So, get you a snack, find the dogs, or come in here and check out Just Pensacola. Closing words by Hillel, I think I'm saying that right. Yes. Oh, okay, yep. You know what? That's probably smart. Thank you. Thanks. Okay. Shove your snack down your mouth and then go get the dogs. Okay. If I'm not for myself, who will be for me? And if I am only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? Thank you so much. Go in peace.